In the Netherlands, they ran a reality show where they split participants into two teams, one male and one female, and placed them separately on two different islands with a minimal set of supplies, with the goal of surviving on the island for a month. Spoiler alert, you won't believe what actually happened in this situation. Of course, it didn't go without some feminist drama. I'll read this out exactly as it was said. Finally, the world will see that a female-only society, free from men, can truly thrive. When the men were dropped off, they struggled at first to choose a leader because they needed a clear hierarchy. But since the vote didn't result in a decision, they decided to divide responsibilities based on what each person... They built bungalows, caught fish, dug pits to store emergency supplies, and rationed everything carefully to make sure the resources would last each of them for a full month. Now, when the women were dropped off on their island, oh boy, it was chaos. First, they all argued because everyone wanted to be the leader. They were all queens, all in charge, and no one wanted to follow orders or serve anyone else. Naturally, women don't serve even each other, right? They argued, got bitten by bugs, and mostly just laid around sunbathing since they'd landed on a gorgeous island. They devoured all their supplies in just a week, leaving nothing. Then some disease hit, something like cholera, and they started getting really sick. Of course, the experiment was being monitored. When the observers saw the complete mess on the women's island, they decided not to end the experiment, but instead slightly change the rules. And that's when things got even crazier. When the men arrived at the women's island, they were absolutely shocked by what they saw. Filthy, angry, bruised women, all bitten up by insects. No supplies, no shelter. They were stunned. But what could they do? There were still 3 weeks left in the experiment. So they built homes for the women. Drawing on their previous experience, they began organizing and cleaning up the island. And what did the women do? Nothing. They were thrilled that men had come to catch fish for them and just went right back to doing what they'd done before. Sunbathing, swimming, and drying their clothes. When the women arrived at the men's island and saw how clean and orderly everything was, in the end, the experiment went completely off track. But one conclusion became crystal clear. Role distribution is crucial. Everyone needs to play their part to keep night in order.